The city that was once the centre of the known universe this weekend hosts round 4 of the Italian F4 Championship. Good afternoon, everybody. Great to have your company. We join you live from the city of Long Valley here at Vallelunga. And first of all, we're going to go down to Camilla, who's with the director of the circuit, Mr. Alfredo Scala.
Hello and welcome to the starting grid of Formula 4 Italian Championship. I'm here with Alfredo Scala, the CEO of ACI Vallelunga. Alfredo, thank you for joining us and thank you for your hospitality. Always here in Vallelunga we feel at home. Let's go talk about the present and the future of ACI Vallelunga.
Thanks a lot. We are really very happy to have this kind of events. We are really doing our best effort to have these facilities always with the implementation, especially, of course, in safety activity, but in particular on engagement of the fans. So during every day we can have the opportunity to have safety driving courses, simulation system, skiddy kart and many other opportunities to have fans happy and with a full program every day.
Just one question, little question. In one word, why Vallelunga is so magic?
Well, Benji, thanks a lot. That's important for us, if you say like that. It's a special place, 70 years old, but with the other, let's hope, 100 years of future to become. So we really hope that you can feel a very different atmosphere from even much bigger circuit. So we do our best with my colleagues to try to feel everybody at home when you are here. So thanks a lot for it.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Alfredo Scala, the Director General of the Vallelunga Circuit, down on the grid with Camilla Ronchi. Great to have him speaking to us, and we're very thankful that he was able to do so for the vast majority of our audience in the English language. Well, as you can see, it is a glorious day here some 30 kilometres north of the Italian capital. This is the Vallelunga circuit which Mr. Scala spoke about. It was built back in 1951, originally, would you believe, as a dirt circuit, and it actually ran counterclockwise. In the years gone by, it has hosted, most significantly perhaps, the Roman Grand Prix up until 1991. As you look at the Italian pole sitter, Antonelli has also hosted the World Superbike Championship, the World Sports Car Championship, GT Open and Euro Le Mans next week. The NASCAR European Series is here and the World Touring Car Championship in 3 weeks' time as well. A glorious day as we take a look at this massive grid and look at that, a Prema lockout. Antonelli on pole position alongside the championship leader Rafa Kamara, Charlie Wirtz and James Wharton. Prema 1, 2, 3, 4 on the grid. We go to Alex Dunn, Marcus Amann taking the fight up to the red cars for US Racing. Kasper Stuka, their teammate, and then Nikita Bedrin for PHM Racing out of 8. His teammate Taylor Barnard, Nikhil Bora, also for US Racing, as is the African Pedro Perino. Conrad Lawson, Valerio Rimicella, Il Romano, the Roman, is alongside Martini Estensonet, Ivan Dominguez for Team Iron Lynx, and the German, Jonas Ried. Maya Werg and Emo Fittipaldi on the 9th row of the grid, Brando Badoer. Victoria Blochina, Valentin Plus in the Kite Racing 28 Jensen Motorsport kart, Il Siciliano, Alfio Spina, Jules Castro, and Elias Perendio for the Matthew Racing team on the 12th row of the grid. We keep turning the pages because the cars just keep on coming. The biggest field yet, Manuel Quondam Carlo, Adam Fitzgerald, the second Irishman in the field, the kid from Galway making his debut in the series, Ethan Isha, Andrea Frasinetti, Frederick Lund, Giorgio Marco Janes, Kim Hwa Ring, the Filipino-born South Korean driver, Nelson Neto, Nicolas Montero, Os Meninos, to Brazil, Jean Richard, Ismail Ahmed, William Carlson, who had a puncher this morning in qualifying. That's why the Swede is so far back on the grid. And Giovanni Maschio, we welcome back Giovanni, one of 9 Italians in the field in this mega international championship. The 4th round of the 2022 Italian F4 Championship, presented as ever by WSK Promotion. 37 cars on the grid, 37 degrees Celsius here in Rome. What a sight this is. As the cars, no problem getting temperature into the Pirelli tyres here. There is Alex Dunn in kart 22. It has been a fight between Prema Power Team, US Racing. They initially did lead the series after the first round at Imola. And also don't discount the PHM cars, including that of the driver on your screen, the Italian-based Nikita Bedran for PHM Racing. The 4 kilometre circuit with 70 years of history. As the graphic proves me a liar, we're not quite up to 37 degrees Celsius. I did want to say 37 cars and 37 degrees, not quite, close enough. Regardless, a fantastic sight as Martinius, that's the Norwegian for the Van Amersfoort Racing Team, which, to be perfectly honest, they really have struggled in 2022 after dominating with Ollie Bierman to take the title a year ago. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, pole position for all 3 races this weekend. There are the 2 Iron Lynx drivers. Ivan Dominguez, that's Maya Werg on your screen, car 83. Splitting them is Jonas Reed. Marcus Amann, the Finnish flag on the French Finns helmet, car 52 for US Racing. The field, this tremendous field, as you look at Marco Antonelli, team manager for his own AKM Motorsport racing team. They're fielding cars in this field, and of course, Andrea, that's his son, on pole position. Giovanni Maschio at the back of the pack. Grid 37 here at Vallelunga. This is Curva Roma, the Roman curve. The biggest field yet. We had 39 cars, in fact 40 cars take part in official practice, 37 about to start race 1 here this afternoon. The green flag at the back of the grid, the 5 red lights. For the first time this weekend in Rome, we race. And Charlie Vert stalls. The Austrian goes nowhere, he is avoided by the rest of the pack as his teammates go 1, 2, 3. Alex trying to make a move and split the Prema Power Team drivers. A disaster for Charlie Verts, who was on the podium last time out at Spa. His teammate, that is Antonelli, leading them down into Cimini corners. The opening stages of the first lap, the first race here in Rome. Kamada up into second place. Good start by James Wharton, goes P3. It was actually Kasper Stuka who's gone through for US Racing. There is James Wharton, who has to go defensive. Kamada in second place. Antonelli from pole position leads. And here comes the attack from the US Racing Team drivers. Kasper in 37, Alex 22, and Marcus Amann in 52 for the German Racing Team. The teammates fight amongst themselves. They're 3 wide. Gerhard Unger having a heart attack in pit lane. They don't make contact, but they do leave the door open for Taylor Barnard. The Brit in 77 goes position 7. He goes up into 6th place around the outside of Alex Dunn, but he's hung out to drive. A great start from Taylor Barnard, but he's thrown it away. He's in the gravel. Does very well to hang on to it. That's Martinius, who's come scorching up through the field. We're trying to keep one eye on Charlie Verts. There he is at the bottom of your screen, position 19 from the second row of the grid. Antonelli with a nice lead over Kamada Wharton. And then the US Racing attack, which has now been split by Taylor Barnard. Lucky not to throw it away. He'll come across the line for the first time in position 6. Good start from Ivan Dominguez. Maya Werk, she pulls out of the slipstream of Jonas Reed. The Dutch-Belgian girl from Spain going wheel to wheel with the PHM Racing driver Jonas Reed, the second generation racer in car 41 for PHM Racing. Kamada locks up the brake in second place as we look at Conrad Lausen, the Dane on the back of the Norwegian, the Scandinavian battle for the final positions inside the top 10. Martinius, car 34 for the Van Amersfoort Racing Team, up into position 8 as one of the R-Race GP cars goes very wide into the gravel. It may well have been the series debutant from Ireland, Adam Fitzgerald. So largely a clean start as Maya picks up another place there. Nicely done as Jonas Reed runs wide, and the Ferrari junior driver now sits on the back of Pedro Perino in 13th place. There is her teammate Ivan Dominguez for Team Iron Lynx. Good start for race 1, round 4, the Italian F4 Championship presented by WSK Promotion. That is Dominguez, who's all over the back of the Dane Conrad Lausen, ahead of the Roman Valerio Rinicella on his home circuit for AKM Motorsport. Great start by Valerio, who's now on the edge of the top 10. 1, 2, 3, go the Prema Power Team. Marcus Amani position 4, Alex Dunn P5, and Barnard, despite running off into the gravel before the end of the first lap, still holds P6. Kamada, the championship leader, his closest rival in the series. Here's the driver who sits just ahead of him on the road, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. You will remember that incredible, that stunning drive. Race 3 at Spa 2 weeks ago when Kamada stalled from pole position, fell back to 34th place by the first corner and fought his way back onto the podium. That was nothing short of spectacular. As Rinicella fighting there with Pedro Perino. There's Meyerwerk just behind the driver from Maputo in Mozambique in the southeast of Africa. Good drive from Pedro. The same can be said for Rinicella. A clean start here for race 1. They go wheel to wheel. And Rinicella has taken the place. There's Dominguez just ahead. Rinicella goes defensive on Pedro Perino. And watch Meyer just behind her. Here's Charlie Wirtz, who's starting to recover. The Austrian up into position 14. Valentin Klaus is driving superbly as well. The Kaith-backed German driver for Ginza Motorsport in P15 from Fittipaldi and Badoia. And Alfio Spinner, the 2 Italians behind one of 4 Brazilians in the field this weekend. There is Valerio Rinicella as Meyerwerk sends it down the inside. Tries to make the move on Pedro. They go through the S's up into the Roman corner. And they'll start the 4th lap in just a moment. From the second row of the grid, Charlie Wirtz stalls. He did get away ever so slightly. The car moved just a few inches. Also one of the PHM racing cars going nowhere as well. What a sight as 37 F4 cars come streaming down at well over 200 k's an hour. As we lose Andrea Frassinetti in the opening stages of the race. Bad luck for the car's racing entry. Does rejoin with damage, and also one of the Cram Motorsport cars. In fact, it may have been a BWR car running off the road as well. Nicolas Monteiro, in fact, it was one of the 4 Brazilian drivers. This was the RAce GP car. Off the track, but rejoining. Oh, this is the incident under investigation. Nicolas Monteiro coming together with Frederick Lund. Not a good start for their afternoon as you look at Alex Dunn, who still sits in P5 in car 22. Ominous at the bottom of your screen. Andrea Kimi Antonelli with the fastest lap of the race, pulling away 0.6 of a second ahead of his teammate. There's the former championship leader on your screen. He is still the championship leader of the British Formula 4 Championship after another great run and a race win last week in the north of England. That was at, I'm sure it was Croft, don't tell me it was Holton Park. Either way, he is still leading the British Championship by some 51 points. It's the 6th race weekend in a row for Alex Dunn. He's still 3rd in the championship and he's P5 in race 1 here this afternoon. The team from Vicenza run 1, 2, 3 with Antonelli Kamada. Good drive from James Wharton as well. Behind him, Marcus Amand, Alex Dunn, Taylor Barnard. Lucky to still be in the race, lucky to still be on the circuit after running into the gravel in the opening stages of the race. He's P6 from Stuka, Stenson and Lawson, Dominguez, Rinicella, Perino, and Charlie Wirtz has recovered to 13th place. Has just got by Meyerwerk as we speak. But what could have been, as you look at Alex go through in P5, Charlie Wirtz from the second row of the grid. But he's now outside the top 10. He is still quick though, and there is still 3/4 of the race to go. There's Taylor Barnard on your screen, the 2-time WSK Champions Cup kart racing champion for Team Rosberg Kart Republic, twice taking that title. And the Adria Karting Raceway, a race which was also won by Rafa Kamara in 2000, well, it was last year, wasn't it? In 2021, also for the Kart Republic team. Alex Dunn, he took the WSK Champions Cup for the Forza Racing team in OK Junior in 2019 as well. And I'm sure there's 1 or 2 other winners in there as well. Alfio Spinner, I reckon he took the title, as well as the WSK Euro Kart Racing Series, which gets underway as well in 2 weeks' time at South Garda Karting. The paddock may be different, but many of the faces are still the same, including Ivan Dominguez. They've all raced with us, almost all, a huge majority of the field in WSK International Kart Racing, including the drivers which run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think right down to Pedro Perino. In fact, he may have also done a few races as well with us in the past. This is Maya Werg under attack from the Roman. Valerio Rinicella, she goes defensive down into Chimini 1. The Iron Dames driver, the Ferrari-backed Junior, and right behind, superb drive from Valentin Plus as Marco Antonelli nervously paces in pit lane. He's keeping one eye on his drivers, Ismail Ahmed and Valerio Rinicella, as well, of course, as his own son, who's racing for the Prema Power Team in position 1. A move down the inside. Charlie Vert sends it and makes up the place on Perino. As Marcus Aman and Alex Dunn, the two teammates, fight amongst themselves. Alex has gone through. He's got the job done. Alex now up into position 4. Antonelli with a 1:35.410 last time round. A 0.537 for Kamara. And Wharton at 35.676. Charlie Burtz with one almighty send down the inside. And the African driver had no choice but to give him space, drove him off the road ever so slightly. Charlie Burtz was on the inside. Pedro had to yield the position. And Charlie Burtz from the second row of the grid back to position 19 after stalling off the start. The Austrian is now one position outside the top 10. Kamada, the championship leader, he will lose the championship lead if he doesn't get past Antonelli by the end of the race. Just 3 points separating. Rafa, 147 versus Antonelli, 144. Alex Dunn, who's now in position 4, still third in the championship, in on 108 points. There's Conrad Larsen. Good try from Conrad as well. Sits there behind Martinius Sensornet. Flying the flag for the Dutch team, as we said in our introduction. They dominated in 2021 with the B-man, Ollie. Nice move by one of the PHM cars further back. It was Nikita Bedram with one almighty send down the inside of the hairpin and took Brando Badoer. That was from a long way back, but he got it done. Super move by Nikita. Antonelli, Kamara, Wharton, 1, 2, 3 for the almighty Prema Power Team. Taylor Barnard with the US racing drivers just behind. There's Kasper Stuka in car 37. Will start Group 3 for race 3 tomorrow as we pass the halfway point of the 2022 championship. Take a look at this. Taylor Barnard sent it from a mile back. It was a clean pass. And he goes by Marcus Amand. What a recovery from Taylor. There's Conrad coming onto the straight. Ivan Dominguez, the recovering Charlie Verse, Pedro Perino, Maya Werg. Behind her is Valentin Klus, doing superbly in the Kaif. Jensen Motorsport car is the German from outside Stuttgart. Not so far outside the top 10 as the US racing teammates. Kasper Stuka makes the move on Marcus Amand. And they trade positions as Taylor Barnard skips away. Kasper Stuka 37, Marcus Amand in 52. As Taylor locks up just ahead in the PHM racing car. That will cost the Englishman time, and it will cost both the US racing team drivers time as well. Martinius can see this in the background, as can Conrad. Taylor just ahead despite making that slight error as the US racing drivers fight amongst themselves. Taylor Barnard with breathing space, but Martinius Stenson at the top VN Amersfoort racing team driver is catching in on the both of them. Martinius, P8, Conrad Larsen, 9, Dominguez, 10, then it's Verts, Perino, Maya Werg, Valentin Plus, the Roman Rinicella falls back to 15. As you see, Kasper, the race 3 winner at Imola, accelerates out of the hairpin, through the S's and up to the Roma corner. Antonelli, 1.4 seconds over his teammate Rafael Kamada. A dominant performance in qualifying this morning for the driver from the city of Bologna. Pole position for race 1 now, race 2 tomorrow morning. which you can catch live, of course, at 9 a.m. local time, and race 3 tomorrow afternoon. If he holds on for a race win, he will take the championship lead into race 2, the halfway point of the 2022 Italian F4 Championship. Marco Zaman goes very deep at the bottom of the hill, going into the chimney curves. Is James Wharton. Good drive from the Ferrari Juniors plural, running in second, third and third. The Australian behind the Brazilian, but the Italian for the Italian team in the Italian capital does continue to lead. Antonelli, 1.4 seconds. There's James Wharton going through. Done up into P4. There's Taylor Barnard. Marco Zaman, 2 goes at that corner. Slight oversteer, had to correct it on the exit. Marco Zaman sitting behind his teammates plural, because Kasper Stuker in car 37 is position 7 as well. We are approaching the halfway distance of race 1, round 4, the Italian F4 Championship. The 10th of 21 races in this year's season, and the last before the summer break. Antonelli is coming across the line now as Marco Zaman goes through Curva Roma, the Roman corner, on a glorious day here in the Italian capital. Accelerates flat at top speed of just under 220 k's an hour, around about 218, 217. As they race flat down the hill, back to the race leader, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. The Mercedes Junior heads the 2 Ferrari Juniors. The Prema Power Team, the all-dominant Prema Power Team, run 1, 2, 3 on your screen. Nothing between the first 2 drivers. Kimi in car 12, Kamada in 88. Perfect drive from the Mercedes Junior. We think back to the first round of the championship at Imola. He picked up a solitary point, just 10th place in race 3 after a couple of DNFs. It was a disastrous start for the Mercedes Junior. He did win at the start of the 2022 championship. That was over in the United Arab Emirates Championship, as his father Marco still nervously watches on. And the face in the background you may have just seen for a split second, the former Formula Super A 100cc karter from Sweden. Yes, that was the legendary Rickard Kale, working with the AKM motorsport team. International karting fans of, well, quite a few years ago may remember his exploits behind the wheel of mostly a PCR and a Top Kart. An outstanding driver he was in the days of Raikkonen, Alonso, Villander. Working with the AKM team this weekend is Rickard Kale. His father Marco, former GT and Italian touring car driver of note, now running cars in the Italian GT Championship, and of course this, the Italian F4 Championship. Rinicella in car 38 for AKM Motorsport in position 15. Taylor Barnard, position 5. This is Rinicella, in fact, just ahead of Nick Gilborda for US Racing Team. A wider line for the Roman. And then Nikita Bedran just behind. Emo Fittipaldi struggling this weekend with the car setup. Really disappointing run for the Brazilian-American. There he is in the background for Van Amersfoort Racing as Bora tries the outside of the Roman. Rinicella just gently rubs him off into the marbles. Bora runs off the racing line. And Nikita Bedran, who was on the podium